Welcome to the 24th episode of the Creative Masterminds podcast.
Yeah.
We are happy to be here with you guys another week, another podcast for sure.
What it do?
You know who you have in the house. I almost messed up. You know who we got in the house. We got, of course, me, Shawn Breeze in the house, and you also got
Cass Thrive.
thriving
What's
and stuff. And so for today's topic, we are going to talk about being mindful of your disadvantages and also being mindful of your disadvantages and making your disadvantage an advantage. And then we're going to talk about the importance of time boxing things and just having hyper focus hours, minutes to really get things done and be more effective in your day-to-day life.
Breaking it down.
Yeah. But you already know how we do. We start with a week in review. We talk about the week and what we did for this past week. So I'm going to go ahead and start off this time because I always defer to Cass, but I'll start this time.
For sure.
So what I've been working on, of course, my project is done. It's done for sure. I'm basically done mixing. I had like one last track to mix. I just need to mix it in the car to make sure that it sounds good in all areas. And so once I get done with that last piece tonight, I'm going to the mastering phase. And I should be mastering it like for the next couple of days. And I believe it should be, or I will start uploading it like, I would say Thursday or whatever. So it'll probably be on like the digital streaming platforms like maybe next week for sure. And so yeah, it's called We Are All Gods Volume 2. It's just a second installment into like the We Are All Gods series. And it's like one of my best works for sure to date. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to showcase the beats, and 'cause I really feel like I have shown some growth from my last project, which was put out like maybe 2 weeks ago, because I actually took the time to make sure that looked at different various tutorials, like learning to how to properly mix and how to properly master things. Also, like learning things from different producers, like, you know, how they transition from like within their songs and just arrangements, stuff like that. So basically all these things that I learned in a short amount of time between We Are All Gods Volume 1 and We Are All Gods Volume 2, I applied that into this tape. And so I was just very excited to release it. I'm going to play some beats tonight. We would go to this spot. What's called the Green Elephant.
Yeah, it's gonna be there, and it's the open mic.
Open mic.
Green Elephant. Yep.
I'm play some beats, you know, try to see what kind of reactions I get from the people, and you know, and if it's good, it's good. If it's not, I'll just go back to the drawing board and then learn what I can do to make my stuff super fire. So, you know, it's all a process. It's all fun and games, and I'm loving it. What else, man? I just been like, you know, living life, man, spending time with the family and everything, and having fun with that. And so, yeah, man, just living life to the fullest. And that's about it. Oh, I
was gonna say your first volume, that's out, right? So that's,
it's on Spotify, it's on Tidal, it's on Apple Music. Make sure you check it out. It's on all the digital streaming platforms. So check it out for sure. I'll say this one thing though. I did go see this movie called not Mr. Glass. It's called Glass. And so like it's this it's the third movie in this trilogy created by M. Night Shyamalan. I can't get his name. I apologize. My bad. But it's a I'm not sure if you've seen like the movie Unbreakable with so it's like, you know,
I saw the first one, I think.
So that's Unbreakable. And then they had a movie called Split with James McAvoy, and where he had like the split personalities, and then they had Glass. And so anyway,
that Split was like the second part of that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like
I didn't know that.
Split was like focused on like the villain who had the split personalities and, you know, everything. So
yeah.
Anyway, I found the movie to be very good and very inspirational. I pick up a lot of things. Now I can't remember the point, but one of the main things I got from the movie is the fact that one interesting thing was the fact that they all believed that they were superheroes, right? But the thing is, they went to this institution that was trying to make them not believe that they were superheroes, whatever, and try to really test their beliefs in their self and their abilities, whatever. But the main thing at the end of the day, they stay strong with their belief. They stay strong with what they felt they were, and they were able to show the world that they are superheroes. So that's one key thing to take away from that. Like, hey, man, people are going to doubt you regardless, and just stay focused and stay true to who you are, and you will show people for sure at the end of the day that you're a superhero and you can do anything.
In them
Anyway.
institutions, they might try to make you,
Yeah.
lesser than what you are. Too,
Exactly.
You know?
They try to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's like a crazy, I'm pretty sure people have seen the movie like, how the hell did he get that from that crazy ass movie? But hey, man, I can find lessons in anything. But I love the movie. Great movie. Great acting by James McAvoy. And it's a fire movie. Go see it for sure. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Cass, what did you do this past week?
I am 1 year older.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Appreciate
Happy
it,
birthday.
man. I don't want to put my age out there, but
Yeah.
36.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good number. It's a good number.
Hey, I'm happy to achieve it and get there. Some people, didn't make it to 30. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's a blessing for sure.
Absolutely.
So just spent time with the family, of course. Got back in the studio making some beats and stuff. Feel real good and inspired and stuff, especially off that Middle Child, J. Cole.
Yeah.
That was a dope track and
Shook up the world. He dropped it.
And we share the same birthday, so that
Yeah.
So I kind of feel him or tap into him in a different way. Little man came in here. Go ahead.
That's hilarious. you want a little spotlight, right? That's funny. That's cute. That's funny. Hey man, this is a family house, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this to be expected.
It happens, man,
Yeah.
So
You know what I'm
spending time with the kiddos,
For sure.
and all that, DJing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Celebrate my birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me this week, man.
That's cool. That's cool. Cool, chill week. I'm glad that you were able to celebrate your birthday. I hope you had a good time and everything for your birthday. Did you go to Buffalo Wild Wings or?
Yeah, last night we went to Buffalo Wild
That's good,
Wings, man. Got full, came home, and called it a night.
For some reason, my wife hate on Buffalo Wild Wings. I think it's good. In my opinion, I don't think
Is
it's
it the
bad.
wings just period? Like she don't like wings?
I guess
or
she don't really like their wings.
Yeah.
She has a beef with their wings. I think she thinks Wingstop is like one of the better wings, like from the chains, from the chain world or whatever. But
theirs are a little bigger though. The
the Wingstop?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They are.
But I mean, hey,
Pluckers
to the
used to have
taste.
it, but I heard Pluckers kind of fell off. So anyway,
yeah.
back to the point. Food. I'm getting hungry and everything. All right, so back to the point. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the subject of talking about disadvantages and how you can turn your disadvantage into an advantage. And so this topic was inspired from the story I heard while listening to an audiobook by Damon Jones, the owner or is he still the owner of Fubu? I guess he may have sold that, but he's on Shark Tank. I think that's where most people know him from. Mm-hmm. Damon Jones, but he used to be the owner or at least co-owner of Fubu. And so in this book, Rise and Grind, he talked about this kid or this person who had like no arms, no legs, and of course people will assume that it's a disadvantage that you have no arms, no legs, but he somehow turned that into an advantage for himself, and specifically he actually specifically on how he turned his disadvantage to an advantage. He signed up to be a wrestler, in the school. And so, of course, people would assume that he would be dominated, with him not having limbs. But he was able actually to just, I guess, I'm not sure how he did it, but utilize whatever he had to actually just basically give that work to opponents and really like dominate people in that sport field. And to the point where parents of the other team will actually cry foul that, hey, what he has is a disadvantage. Or what he has is like too much of an advantage. And so that story really like resonated with me. Like, damn, like, it all depends on your perspective of like what's a disadvantage and what's an advantage. And the key thing is, I think in life is to take note of your disadvantages that you have and then turn them into advantages for yourself. I can say like for sure, we can get, low key, I'll say low key light racial, whatever. So I guess like probably like the most obvious one for me would be like, okay, I'm an African American in this society, whatever, which is like, of course, presents so many different disadvantages for myself based off of color. However, what that has done for me, it has forced me to figure out ways to get it, get what I want to acquire in life via other means and not necessarily through society means. And so that has, to me, brought out a different type of person and has increased and has helped elevate me to be the person that I am today. And so that's one way I can say for sure how disadvantages have helped me become a better person in general. So Cass, you got any stories or that can kind of support the theory of like, not theory, but turn your disadvantages into an advantage?
Well, yeah, I'll say, like I always say that, you need to pretty much go in and evaluate yourself, because we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses and all that. So the whole starting point of this is, recognizing what your strengths are, what you feel comfortable with, where you can give and benefit others, you know what I'm saying? And then those areas where you need help and you're not as strong, and where you fumble, with the ball or whatever. So identifying that is the first, the main thing. And then from there, you can take the steps to see what you need to do to strengthen those areas that you're not as strong at.
True.
Whether it be, reading books, YouTubing or whatever, but you need to, and it may be, for most people, it's going to be a significant amount of things or whatever. So you want to attack, small areas, and then, move on to the next and climb and continue to get better that way. And while doing that, not letting your strengths fall off as well.
That's true.
So it's like, it's a whole movement of improving yourself, getting better. We get older every day, so we might as well learn, pick up new things, try things that that make us uncomfortable, and so we can pretty much feel comfortable in the areas that we lack, and get nervous or sway to the sideline or whatever. But we want to be in the game, get things done. I'm using that that example, playing a sport or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We want to be off the bench, not have the pine, in the tail or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be out there in the game playing. And
absolutely.
As far as an example for me, sports and many making beats, learning to be a producer, and those things where I didn't have any experience whatsoever, but I dove into it, and then, like I said, I broke it down, and those areas, like, I felt I was better at making drums, you know what I'm saying? So I started working on the melodies, and not that my drums are like great or whatever, but that's where I was better. I had more strength there. So I continued to build on that, but I started working on making melodies and learning the keys, learning the octaves, how to switch octaves, and changing keys and all of that with the keyboard. And so that, that's a main thing that is, very important, is going to those areas where you don't feel comfortable, where you're lacking, and then doing things to strengthen it little by little. It's not going to happen overnight, So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up the analogy of like sports, because I can just easily, move into like working out in general. Like, so like with working out, with lifting weights and everything, you're not going to start with the heaviest dumbbell ever. You're going to start with a small dumbbell amount, and then you're going to slowly but surely build up your muscle to become stronger in that. And that's one of the best things about working out, for sure. You kind of see these different principles actually, be proven. And so, yeah, I completely like the fact that you brought the athletic stuff, because I really do believe, like, yeah, if you're not good at something, the thing is just to work on it, day by day, slowly but surely build up your strength in it, and then, then add that to your repertoire of strengths. And the thing is, like, yeah, for sure, you want to figure out what you're very strong at, and then just focus on that for a long time, and then really master it. That's one of the main things I also kind of got from this book, not the Damon Jones book, but this book, 6 Months to Six Figures, by Peter Voog. I think that's his name. But one of the things for sure that I got from the book was the fact that the importance of mastering something, and not just trying to just do everything at once. Like, for instance, some people may have the goal of reading 51 books in a year. I'd rather focus on reading 10 books over and over, and really master those books, and really master the principles laid out in those books. Like, what I've been doing now, I've been like listening to that Peter Voog book. Like, I'll listen to it twice. I'm listening to that Damon Jones book. I'm listening to it multiple times, and also I'm gonna listen to Think and Grow Rich multiple times, and really make that part of my DNA and really master it. And so, once you get to a point that you master something, then you can move on and then bring on other elements to it to help complement what you mastered. And so yeah, go ahead.
Thing. Yeah. So what you said, man, he was saying like even before like a person moves on to like even in one book, move on to the next chapter, like go over one chapter and really mastering like one chapter in some books will have like the world of a great effect on a person. Just by really like digging into one chapter, because trying to read a book all the way through, we want to get it done by a certain amount of time or whatever, so we may miss a lot. But if we just go over one chapter over and over again, that can have a world of a difference.
That is true.
So.
That's true. Kind of, I think that we get. I'm not sure we can segue. If we want to segue this early into like having those focus moments where you focus on something like. For a certain amount of time to make sure that you really get it, or you really make sure that you really knock out something that you want to get knocked out to be more productive. But we could jump into that. Do you want to jump into that?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Then we can probably jump back and forth between like disadvantages and also having those super hyper focus moments where you make sure you put all your attention to something and then make sure you get done and then move on to the next thing. 'Cause I know for sure that's what I've been doing with my beats, like. Instead of me like just making like a whole bunch of different beat ideas and then jumping to like just basically me jumping from beat idea to different beat idea, I've been focused on, all right, let me take this one beat and just work on this beat and basically apply what I call the law of attrition, which is basically like me working on something over and over, like over time, and then to the point where it's finally nailed, and then I got where I got it where I want it to be, and then we can move on. Instead of like me trying to make different beats. All or like not all the time, but like just make beats before I actually complete them. And so one thing for sure, that's actually what I did this week for sure when I was working on this beat. I think it took me like maybe over the course of like a day or two to really complete this beat, and that sounded like really fire. But if this beat started out sounding like something totally different. It had this melody, and then I had some chorus to it, then I had some drums to it. It sounded like it was cool, but it wasn't great, whatever. But then like the law of attrition, I just started to take out, identify things I didn't like about the beat and subtract those, and then add some things that I liked about the beat, and just kept doing that process over and over to the point I got this final product that I really like. Yeah. And so. So how that that ties into like me being super focused on just knocking this one thing out, this one beat, focus on this one beat, and then moving on.
That's kind of like quality or quantity. It's that,
exactly.
Which one,
Yeah.
And because quantity, you would take less time and you just getting them done or whatever.
Exactly.
But quality, it takes time to refine it and shape that sculpture, how you really want it. So
exactly, because I believe like the thing is, me keep doing this, like if I keep doing it over, a certain amount of time, I'm going to become skillful enough where I can do it faster and be more productive and more efficient whenever I do it. So I'd rather take the time now and just go through the learning curve, which I think people don't really identify or acknowledge that much, the learning curve of things. Sometimes we kind of start things, then if it doesn't go our way, we end up becoming, upset about it and feel depleted. Like, we have to understand that there's learning curves that we have to go through, and you have to accept that learning curve and just rock with the learning curve to the point where you get to super masterful level. So Timbaland started out probably trash. Pharrell probably started out pretty trash. Quincy Jones probably didn't, because he's a phenom. But no, but some we all start out as trash at one point. But the thing is, with focus and being masterful and being mindful of your time and being super hyper focused on things, you can really progress in a fast rate.
And perception comes into that too, because where's the fun in it if you start out like Quincy Jones, or if you start out great, then where's the fun in learning how to get better? And once you starting from the bottom and then reaching the top or the middle or wherever, but that improvement, that gap from where you started to where you are, that's the process of where we fall in love with what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that it's all about perception. You just try to have a good perspective of it and positive about like, that last beat sucked. That last jump shot I took sucked. I didn't score no points in the last game or whatever, but the next game I'm gonna do better.
Exactly.
So love the process, and that that'll make it all worth it when we get there, because you will, if you believe you will, and have that faith, and have that mindset, you will, and you will see improvement. But if you were looking at it like, oh, this. And that's what happens a lot of times when people fall short or stop, is they're like, man, that last beat sucked, I'm done.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Don't do it anymore. So,
but the thing, like, to me, that's the beauty, like having, like, putting out trash, like, oh, that was like pretty trash, but now it's like, all right, time to get back to work. Let me go back into the lab and come up with something better. And the main thing is, like, you're really only in competition with yourself. At the end of the day, or whatever, you just want to outdo yourself. And so the thing is, like, if you make the next beat, and you think it's fire than the previous beat, then you won. And so the thing is, you want to never just get hung up on like one product and be like, all right, this product is terrible, because everybody has made like terrible products. Like, people don't remember. I try to remember try to give a good example of like some trash products that people have put out, but people don't really remember them like that. Like, there's like some singles that your most popular artist has put out, and people had like, all right, that was kind of trash, and kind of kept it moving, whatever. It happens to everybody. The thing is just to, like, over time, just keep putting out dope stuff over time, and then you'll be good to go. So
yeah, you said something that it made me think of Les Brown. What he said is like, you got to stand up, because you said, you're talking within yourself, you're battling with yourself, and he said to stand up within yourself, when the critic or when the negative saying, oh, you should stop because that was horrible, that sucked, you need to stop, that voice or whatever says that you can't do it, get out of here, whatever. So he says stand up within yourself and silence that, tell it to shut up, but stand up within yourself, stand up inside yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to make 2 beats a day now because the disadvantage that I have. So now to make it even better, I'm going to make 2 beats a day, targeting towards mixing and mastering, targeting towards the drums, targeting towards whatever. So, that standing up within yourself, that was like, hey, I dig that. That resonated with me. Fire strong.
True. Shout out to Les Brown.
Yeah.
Actually, while he was talking, I thought about some examples. Like, I think a good example would be like Eminem. No shade, but like Eminem had a few projects that were kind of like, there's very Encore was kind of, and he had a few projects that were like,
we gonna be on this next album now.
He gonna be mad. He gonna create a Mastermind podcast. But even like before that, there's that period of time like between when Dr. Dre was trying to figure it out, and I think he was just now starting out. He was just starting Aftermath, and he released some type of compilation. I'm not sure what it was, and that was kind of like,
was it Keep the Head Ringing, or no? It was something.
It was something where he was like doing some tango. He was doing some tango dancing or something like that. Like, all right, what the hell is this, Dr. Dre? Whatever. But he came back with Chronic 2001. They just proved the point. Like, don't get hung up on like you having like a bad product. You can always do better, and the point is to always do better and focus on just like being better yourself. But let's go ahead and talk about, I guess, like more in a tangible way, I would say, about how we can, like, how you time box your day to make sure like you have like the hyper focus moments to make sure that you are more efficient and effective and like being productive and yield out like work.
Yeah, and it's like being present in the now. Like, that's how you get things done. If you're worried about the past, then if you're not using that as a stepping stone or like as motivation, then it's not going to be good for you. If you're dwelling on it, then it can hurt you, because you could be standing still, not getting anything done, and you're stuck in the past, which doesn't exist anymore.
True.
But this cat, I think it was Ed Milet, he said, focus on the future while getting things done in the present. So, the present, we should be focused and getting things done, and how we can manage time and do this better is also said, make it a 6 hour day of work instead of, the long stretched out day, and sprint within those 6 hour days. Like get things done and, attack it in that 6 hour period. Like in this 6 hour period, I'm going to work as hard as I can and get as much as I can get possibly done. And how to break that down is you break it down the 6 hour period, you break that down even more. So you could do every hour, like you could have an alarm on your clock or what on your phone or whatever to reflect on that hour that just passed. Did you get what you needed to get done in that hour? And then if not, then you need to work a little harder in this next hour and get as much as you can in that hour. And then the next hour, the same thing. And whatever works for you. If it needs to be a 2 hour period starting out, then that, or a 3 hour period, or a 30-minute period every 30 minutes, whatever can help you stay in that moment more, and reflect and make sure you're getting things done, because we can get lost in a day easily, especially the stretched out days.
Yeah.
We talk about tasking it out, writing things down, journaling it, and, having a reflection of like every hour is a great thing to make sure you get things done and you're, productive throughout the day, getting things done.
I'm glad you said that, because I actually tried the method of like doing the marathon thing. Like I would try to be like, all right, on this day I'm gonna do nothing but make beats. But the thing is, it's not really productive, really, because you're not really acknowledging that you're a human. Like you need to go get some fresh air. You need to go talk to people. You need to go like have these different experiences that will help actually bring about more inspiration for you to be creative. Like I can't like just lock myself up in my room all week and just make beats, whatever. It's not productive, because I can't like there's been plenty of times where like a good example, like the track that we collabed on the first volume of We Are All Gods Volume 1. That track came about from whenever I went to go see my grandmother when she was in this like this rehab facility, whatever. But like being touched, seeing her, like seeing her still having a smile on the face, even though she was in those conditions that she was in at the time. Now she's doing super fine. She's like all smiles at the parents' cribs, and so but seeing her at that time, that like did something to me and caused like inspiration. Where that later that night, I made this beat that was really the foundation of the beat that we created together. And so like you need to go live life, whatever. So with that, you need to make sure that you have like your super hyper focused work moments, and then so you can have those super my bad, I drank coffee, so that's why I'm so jittery right now. It's important for you to have like those concise moments of work, so you can also experience life that will help inspire you to do more work. And so it's all a cycle, for real. The thing is, like, you won't really know until you actually go through it and actually just get into your rhythm or figure out what you like and what you don't like. But yeah, it's a cycle for sure. You can't just like work all day.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's it, man. I mean, it's pretty much having better control over the day and time, just not letting it fly by. So the more we can be accountable of the time throughout the day, the better. Especially when we want to get things done and achieve a goal, get that beat done. Start writing. Whatever it may be, So we have more control than we realize, and it's all about being mindful and really committing. That's what
commitment is big.
After the Thrive Thursday and the stuff, I go back over them and look at them. It's like those type of things. I'm like, throughout the day, I'm like, am I committed to this? Because it's easy to be loose with it or, be passive, but no, are you committed? If you're committed, then get it done. And whatever the outcome is, whatever, if it was a test or whatever score you get, then you can say you were committed. And that's, that's what came of it, But if you're passive about it and you didn't, really give your all to it, then that's like, it's kind of like a cop out, So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Commitment is super duper essential. It made me think about, when you talking about like those, like having those blocks of 30 minutes or an hour or so, it made me think about what I read or listened to like in the audio book by Damon Jones, the Rise and Grind one. He talked about how Obama had like time blocks of 3 to 4 minutes of like being effective. Like the thing is, you can go like big or small. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that put you in a mental mode. Like, all right, I have to get things done like now. You know what I'm saying? And I would say make you focus.
You can get a lot done.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And so that's like one of the key takeaways I got from that book. So yeah, man, just be mindful of your time. The thing is, I'm gonna try to do like increments like that, maybe 30-minute increments, and just maybe keep going down and down, and just super focused on being present in the now, because that's one of the key elements, like you said before. You got to be present in the now to be able to pull these things off.
And that's what successful people do. They look at life and break things down in a different way than the normal person that is just, going through the day, letting the day carry them.
Exactly.
That is taking control of the day.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Like, probably the main difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Successful people actually take control of their day, while unsuccessful people allow the day to take control of them. And so we just leave it like that, man. That's a fire.
We give him some?
Yeah,
we knock it out the park?
Yeah, pow. And so with that said, this has been the Creative Masterminds podcast, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, Kaz, go ahead and give out your socials.
Hold on. Remember?
Yeah, of course.
We was before the podcast was filming, we came up with the idea to put together a little EP, or we're gonna put together some music for y'all combined and put some tracks out. Mm-hmm. So y'all look forward to that. We got a project coming y'all way.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fire.
To coincide with the podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait to get started on that one. It's gonna be super fire.
Most definitely.
Oh man, you made me think about also something I got from the book 6 Months to Six Figures, about like the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. He says successful people do things that they don't do things based off of how they feel. That's one thing for sure. Like, for instance, like a good example would be like how we have like these workout goals, right? And then like, all right, the day comes around where you say, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym, but then you're like, I don't feel like going to the gym. Like, if you that type of person be like, I don't feel like going to the gym, you don't go, you're gonna lose.
Get them.
So that's something that resonated with me, that forces me now, like, all right, like for instance, a good example would be like the event we're gonna go to tonight. I don't feel like going, but I should go, so I'm gonna go.
Networking and all.
So the thing is, like, you want to be successful, do things that you don't do things based off of how you feel. Do things that you know you should be doing. And so,
and you can alter how you feel about it too. Like, it ain't easy, but you could do things that can alter. Like the working out, the reading something, listening to something. So don't go off of feelings or emotions. That ain't it.
Yeah, let's go. All right. For my socials, you can find me on Instagram at Shawn Breeze. Also, you can find me on Twitter, OG Shawn Breeze, Facebook, OG Shawn Breeze, ShawnBreeze.com, Shawn Breeze on Spotify, Shawn Breeze on all the digital streaming platforms, Shawn Breeze on SoundCloud, The Creative Masterminds on SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And yeah, man, on my page on Instagram, you're going to see a lot more different things, because I'm just trying to right now brand myself. Yeah. And just introduce people to what I like and the things that make me laugh and things that inspire me and stuff like that. So just stay tuned for some big things with the Creative Masterminds, also with each other. So
most definitely. And for me, it's your boy Cass Thrive. So CAS_THRIVE on Instagram. Also the Boxing Bell on Instagram and Facebook. And we got some stuff coming y'all way, so stay tuned. Appreciate y'all's support. It's all love.
For sure. And with that said, this has been the Creative Masterminds podcast, the 24th episode. Man,
hey.
It's really crazy how fast like these episodes just go. Like, you just start the podcast and then like, bow, it's done. It's crazy.
I just hit him with the Fat Albert.
Yeah, I thought about that. Okay, throwback. Some people, that might go over some people's heads though. You know what I'm saying? That's a throwback. I remember.
Youngest, right?
Yeah, was it like I know, was that there used to be a Saturday morning cartoon? What was that? Yeah, fire. Man. Anyway, as we go down memory lane. All right, so this has been the Creative Masterminds podcast, and we are out of here. Peace out, man.
Holla.
Yeah.